Welcome back, guys. This is my first trip, my Oldtown topwater PDL. Started off as a rough day because preparing for the day, I found out that the bracket that connects my rudder system to the hull of my kayak was bent up. But I contacted Oldtown, got in touch with them through email, and I described what was going on and sent them a video, and they're sending me the new bracket in the mail right now. So that was sort of good news. But besides all that, I was having little camera issues to begin with the mount that I got going on. As you can see, it just wasn't tight enough to begin with. So the first maybe 10 minutes of my paddle, I didn't even notice it was like that. And I lost all video unless you count the video of the water right there. Once I got the camera back situated, got to really pay attention to the kayak and the pedal drive. At first, the pedal drive system was a little tight and grindy. And I couldn't figure out what it was, but I guess it's just like that because it hadn't been used yet. So it just needed to be loosened up a little bit. Took a little adjusting to get used to. Had to get the seat the right way. This is my first experience with a pedal drive kayak. So I wasn't sure how I wanted my seat. Wasn't sure how close I wanted my seat. And it took some getting used to get that, just, get comfortable. I was having a little pain in my lower back, and I made a mistake and set my seat straight up and down, and that didn't help at all. When you're pedaling a kayak, you kind of don't, for me, it doesn't work well with that seat straight up and down. For some reason, it's just a bad angle. So I was in the process of just figuring out what was good for me. And combined with loosening up the drive, getting the seat the right distance from the pedals, it was a little rough to begin with. But after some adjusting, I finally found a good position that was good for me. Fishing, the fishability of this kayak is awesome, man. I mean, once I got everything how I wanted it, it was completely comfortable. I mean, like, it's only a 10.5 foot kayak, and I'm 6'2", 220 pounds, but the way that this thing is built, the cockpit is wide open, and it's just a lot of nice room to fish, and it's awesome. I didn't have any discomfort once I got everything situated. But this kayak, as you can see, man, is extremely stable. I could swing around and get anything from the back of the kayak and not have to worry about it tipping or anything unexpectedly. I felt completely in control, and it picks up speed pretty quick too. I can get that thing up to 5 miles an hour easy. At a steady pace between 3 and 4 miles an hour. As you see here, I'm adjusting this, getting that seat together. Once I got a little recline in the seat, it worked out a lot better for me. All right, so here, as you can see, you can see it a little in the deck of the boat. I'm getting water puddling up right underneath the drive, right at the base of my seat. Getting some water puddling up, and I couldn't figure out what that was about. It was a lot of water, but it was choppy out, real windy. And at first I was kind of crediting it to that, but I figured out what ended up happening. I mean, it was a lot of water. It was a lot of water, and I was just not satisfied with it. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I was dealing with it and trying to get to a more calm area to see if it was, if it stayed or not. But I had to figure out what was going on, because that was just a lot of water. And they'd have some self-draining scupper plugs up there, but it was so much water, I still had to figure it out. So after paddling around a little bit and got to a little calmer area, I got a chance to check out the drive and the hole where it goes down, and it just wasn't sitting right. I guess because the gasket is new, it wasn't compressing good enough. So I had to open it back up and pretty much shut it down real good, make sure it was down good, real tight and snug, and close it back up. After that, there was hardly any water. It was a little water, but just a little splash water and a little seepage. But it was it wasn't puddling up. As far as the standing stability, this is me standing up, and don't mind the rocking. That's the camera, because like I said, my camera arm was pretty loose. So any little movement in the boat made a huge difference with the camera arm. But I could stand up in this thing all day if I wanted to. Fish or whatever, I could probably turn around and grab something if I wanted to. I'm 6'3", 220, and I felt extremely comfortable. It didn't feel standing up in the kayak. It's a little awkward, regardless of the kayak. But a stable kayak, if you're used to standing up, you can tell the difference. If it's on a kayak that's meant to be stood up in and one is not. This hole is definitely meant to be stood up in. Even for a bigger guy like me. And like I said, it was a little windy too, and I did not feel afraid if I was going to tip or fall at all, at no point. So I'm real satisfied with that. That's something that's going to come in handy. Even if I just want to stand up and stretch, you know what I mean? That'll always come in handy. And as you can see here, me sitting down, I go down, and there's not a big rock side to side in the boat or anything. You didn't see a big splash of water. It was just smooth. So I really love that. Once I got everything set up the right way, man, I got extremely comfortable. This thing was smooth. The system is just got real smooth for me. It's loosening it up a little bit. It's probably get a little more loose later on, but it just got real smooth and easy to handle. You can see right here I'm turning. It turns on a dime. It's not hard to turn at all. The rudder system responds very well to whatever movements you make, whatever adjustments you make. And the water stopped coming in as much. Like I said, it was a little seepage, but nothing bad. All right, so right here, I wanted to test out the lockdown ability of the rudder. On the rudder control, you can lock the rudder in place. That way you can face one direction and don't have to keep messing with the rudder. And as you can see, I'm locking it down right here, locking it in place. So I will stay. No matter where the current goes, the rudder won't move back centered or move left and right freely. It'll just stay in one place, and you can stay in one direction and pretty much drift. So right here, as you can see, man, I'm staying pretty much straight. So it worked out really good. I'm not turning or I'm going with the current, but I'm staying in one direction, which is awesome, especially in let's say high current, high wind areas. And I'm really gonna enjoy that. So I'm excited about that. This turned out real well. That was a great idea to have that little knob on the rudder control to lock the rudder in place. Here's another example of me with the rudder locked down in one direction. It's keeping me facing towards the bank. No hands-free. Don't have to pick my paddle up to keep turning. Don't even have to touch the rudder. I'm just drifting down the bank, facing the bank straight, and I'm not turning at all. That's awesome, man. I'm gonna be using that a lot. That was one of the main reasons of getting the pedal drive for me, is to have a lot better control without having to pick up the paddle and hold a rod at the same time, or throw a rod down and pick up the paddle, turn, make a couple casts, turn, make a couple casts, turn. You know, I could just do it with one hand and my feet. All right, so as you can see here, from this angle, you can look at the deck of my kayak underneath the drive and see it's completely dry. So that gasket probably just needed to adhere and seal pretty, a lot better. And that's all it really needed, because now it's a completely dry deck, no water coming in at all. So overall, man, this thing is a beast. It's solid. I'm happy so far. This is only my first trip out, and I feel like I can stay in this thing for years. But I mean, the drive is loosened up now, and it feels great, comfortable, completely comfortable. No issues with the seat. There is one issue with the seat, and it may be just how I'm sitting, and how I got it reclined. But I got the seat back reclined. You can feel that bottom bar just a little bit, but I got some pipe insulation I'm gonna put over that, and that'll cushion it a little. But other than that, there's no complaint from me. I mean, this is awesome. I'm so happy I made the decision to get this kayak. And so yeah, that's it. Oldtown Topwater PDL, first trip out. Thanks for watching.